Hello everybody. This video will try to explain the oil and gas choice that we have to make. So to kind of go through this decision, let me make a few assumptions that I believe could be valid and try to evaluate what our choice is. So let's start by the assumptions. So the first assumption that we make is that the oil companies will drill a well. Having trouble this morning. And let's assume that they have found a pool of hydrocarbons under there, and that, let's just, for example, assume that it's 1,000 acres. Now, what we own out there at St. Francisville is we own 30 acres. So our percentage of the oil and gas under our land is this division, or 0.3%. And this is kind of an important number, and let's remember that. Now, let's kind of think about in terms of dollars what this 1,000 acres of hydrocarbon units would produce in terms of dollars. So let's assume that we have a good well. Now this is another assumption, a good well. And that might be 20 million cubic feet a day. And in the Haynesville area, there are several wells up there that produce this amount of hydrocarbons a day. So the price today of gas is $2 per 1,000 cubic feet per day, which means the oil company could sell that gas for $40,000 per day. Our portion of that would be 40,000 times 0.3%, or $1,200 per day. Now, before the oil company wants to, $1,200 a day. Now, before the oil company wants to give us that $1,200 a day, they want to recover their drilling cost. Here's where the oil companies have us over a barrel, is that they're in control of what they spend and how they calculate that, and it leads us to some suspicion about the oil company's veracity. But anyway, let's, for example, assume that the well cost is $15 million. Our allocated cost to that would be $15 million times that 0.3% number again, or $450,000. Now, a way to kind of think about that is how many days of production would it cost us, or would the oil companies subtract out before they started writing us a check of $1,200 a day? Well, that's the simple division of 15 million over 1,200, or 375 days, or about a year. So if we were to do this deal, it would take us about a year for the oil company to recover the cost to drill that well And the assumption, of course, is that the well cost was $15 million, and that they were honest and straight, and that this thing actually did produce a well that was producing a lot of gas. So let's see what our choices are. So now our choices are, is one, we can take the bonus money, which today is equal to $400 per acre, and we own 30 acres, or $12,000. So if we signed today, the family would get a check for $12,000. In addition to that, under the scenario that I just did, we would, if they made a well, and this is a good well, we would get an additional $240 per day. Or we could gamble and get no bonus money and perhaps nothing, and after a year we could get $1,200 a day. All right, now here's my discussion so far with Frank Graves, is that I asked him to, we would sign a deal, take the bonus money. If he offered us the same deal he would offer to the best offer he made to the other landowners. That's called the most favored nation price clause. He is adamantly rejecting that, so I asked him why. And he said, well, it's very complicated legally. And of course I challenged him, saying, look, we'll absorb the legal cost, and all it takes to amend that deal is change two numbers on the lease. That's the amount of dollars per acre and the amount of production. And under the scenarios, that would only be costing a few $1,000s of legal time. So I believe his argument was, I don't believe he was very honest with me, and helps me calibrate the guy I'm dealing with. So I think the real reason, his assumption is that he's already paid more than he's offered us. So at this juncture, I think we'll sweat him another week or two and see. He's also asked us to counter, give him a counter offer, and Will and I have had a discussion, and Will thinks that we ought to counter and say, look, we want $500 an acre and more production. So you tell me what you think.